What does the Bible say about war? What does the Bible say about war? This question opens up a fascinating discussion about the intersection of faith, ethics, and morality. The Bible addresses war in various ways, reflecting its complex nature. It does not simply condemn or glorify war. Instead, it presents war as a reality tied to human sin, divine judgment, and the quest for justice. The Bible portrays war as a consequence of humanity's fallen nature. From the earliest acts of disobedience, violence and conflict have escalated. This fallen state reveals human brokenness and the failure to live in peace. In biblical terms, peace is referred to as shalom, which means more than just the absence of conflict. It signifies wholeness and harmony. Therefore, war is seen as a tragic outcome of sin rather than a desired state. God engages in war for specific purposes, particularly to execute judgment or protect justice. In the Old Testament, God commands certain wars, especially those involving Israel, as instruments of divine justice. These wars are not acts of aggression but are intended to restrain evil and punish wrongdoing. The Bible clearly condemns wars driven by ruthless aggression, plunder, and violence. It emphasizes that God does not approve of indiscriminate bloodshed or conquest for selfish reasons. The Bible also establishes moral boundaries for when and how war should be conducted. It forbids wars driven by evil motives and calls for the protection of the innocent. Ethical warfare includes just causes such as self-defense, preventing genocide, or restoring peace and justice. These principles align with what later Christian thought would develop into just war theory. This theory holds that war, while undesirable, can be morally justified under strict conditions. These conditions include just cause, right intention, proportionality, and proper authority. In the New Testament, the emphasis shifts towards peace, love, and forgiveness. Teachings like turn the other cheek and love your neighbor are often interpreted as advocating for pacifism. However, the New Testament does not explicitly forbid Christians from serving as soldiers or engaging in war under just circumstances. Jesus is sometimes described metaphorically as a warrior king, suggesting that while peace is the ideal, the use of force in pursuit of justice is not inherently incompatible with Christian ethics. From an ethical and moral standpoint, the biblical view encourages careful discernment about war. It stresses that war should never be entered into lightly or for selfish gain. Instead, it should only be pursued to protect the innocent, uphold justice, and restrain evil. The decision to go to war involves weighing moral reasons, conduct during war, and consequences afterward, always aiming to minimize harm and promote peace. In summary, the Bible presents war as a complex moral issue shaped by human sinfulness, divine justice, and ethical constraints. It neither glorifies war nor demands absolute pacifism but calls for justice, protection of the vulnerable, and peace as the ultimate goal.